Hello everybody. In this video, I'm going to be showing you tips and tricks and just generally how to run Spider Queen's Revenge inside of Esteria. Now, the party I'm running with, just if you're curious, is a full party of hunters. You can also run this with like a wizard and maybe a warrior, but overall, if you can't find those, because I do know there's a lot more hunters than other classes in my experience that are looking for parties, well, you can hook up with just hunters and do this easily. I would suggest having a bow and arrow, a lot of arrows mainly, a good primary, and some decent armor, and a general knowledge of how to run the map, which this video is going to show you how to do all the rooms in a nice manner, mainly for all hunters. The mage bomb and other mage items can also work for this, but overall, this is from what people said, probably the laziest strat in order to run this one, but it's actually still a lot of fun. So if you guys want a really easy way to do the Spider Queen Revenge Dungeon, this is a super easy way, and I massively hope this tutorial helps you. Now, during this video, a couple people do die, and I hope that does show y'all that you don't have to be perfect while running the dungeon. You don't have to have everyone survive to the Spider Queen. Some people can die, it's just best if they don't, but let's get right into the video. Now, for the first room, I don't have a lot of tips other than if you have a mage, have the mage throw a bomb right down in the middle as soon as the round starts. But overall, this room is very simple. Just walk through and kill all of the mobs, and a good time is under a minute. So if you can tear through all the spiders in under a minute, you are doing really well for yourselves. Alright, so for room 2, I would suggest that because there's 4 gears and 1 wheel, that you would have one player go pick up every single one of them, and for the gear that's behind the super giant, I would try to pull him out of his little room with the healthiest character or just somebody who knows how to do it. It will take some practice to understand how it works. Sometimes it won't work as planned, but overall, you want to try not to get hit by him because I think he does 600, 700 damage to your character. Most people don't have that much health, so you can die in one hit. And so do watch out for the spiderling. Now, for one big tip I do have for here is I see a lot of people going in trying to kill everything. You don't have to do that. You can run right past the room like nothing happens. So all you gotta do is just go in, pick up all the gears. You don't have to kill a single mob, and raise the bridge. Alright, now it's time for room 3. Now, this room is very similar to room 1. You want to go in and kill all of the mobs, except now a giant spider spawned. This one is not even close to as dangerous as the super giant in the second room, but you do have to kill it. Now, it doesn't do a lot of damage, it does, to me, at least like 50, 60, sometimes 70 damage. So do watch out for this guy. Make sure you have heal potions. But you could go melee versus this guy. So this is where a warrior do good. Even any class would do well here. But what you want to do is you just want to take out all of the small guys, and then you want to have everyone team up on the big guy. You can use bows if you have a bow that's stronger than your melee, but I would massively suggest if you're a hunter, use your execute and your shadow step on this guy, or even if you have dagger throw, you can use that too. But make sure you're careful while doing this room. Make sure you have health potions. Make sure you're watching your health, because these spiderlings do quite a bit of damage. I do kind of find that the small guys are even more dangerous in a group than the big guy is at all. So do watch out while clearing out the small guys. Run in groups. Make sure to be careful and don't stand still. Room 4, I don't have a lot of tips here other than the fact to do the obby fast. If you have a mage, have them throw a bomb down in the middle of all the big spiders. Mainly because if you don't, the longer you take to do the obby, the more clumped up the spiders will be at the entrance of the obby, and you will die really fast to these things when they're in a group, because they do a lot of damage when they all attack at the same time. But overall, do the obby fast. This might take some practice. If you're not good at obbies, then you definitely want a mage in your party to throw the bomb down in the middle. Oh god, the fifth room. This room is a massive pain. I've seen a lot of games end on this room. Now, this is the spider egg room. What you have to do in order to beat this room is you have to kill all 3 spider pillars. You don't have to kill all the spiders, just the spider egg pillars by themselves. Now, I found there's 3 ways to do this. The first way is to YOLO and try not to die, because these guys do a whole lot of damage if they get clumped up. And if you don't have a mage or you don't do it the other way I'm going to tell you, you gotta get insanely lucky, or you have to be very good at this game to kill all 3 of them with just meleeing. Now, the second way you can do it is you can have one wizard. This is a part where wizard is very helpful. You want the wizard to use the bomb spell, I don't know the full name of it, on the pillars, and have it where he's standing far enough away to where he can charge up and get super big. Because that is the only way you're going to be able to do this. Because those bombs will one-shot, if they're upgraded a bit, they will one-shot all of the tiny spiders around the eggs. So you want to have a wizard that can time those spells incredibly well, and that overall is going to be your main carry in order to do the room. Now, the third way that I found is the one you're seeing on screen, which has all of the hunters standing at the spawn, bowing all of the statues from a distance. Now, we are far enough away in the spawn to where none of the eggs will have the spiders get attracted to us. So, if you have strong enough bows, or just bows at all, I would recommend ranging all of the eggs, and as you can see, not a single spider came after us. So this turns into the biggest pain in the world to one of the easiest rooms in the entire dungeon. Alright, now it's time for room 6. This room is very similar to the past couple rooms where you have to kill every single mob and 2 giant spiderlings spawn. Now, these aren't the same as the giant one we had earlier. These are a lot more deadly, but they're also a lot tinier. So my big tip for this one is to have one person distract the spiders and getting on top of the rocks in the middle pillar, and having everybody bow down the big guys. I would also suggest, if you have a wizard, have the wizard use his big bomb on all of the tiny guys. Have like one guy group them all up by having them follow, and then having the wizard bomb the big pile of small spiderlings. Now, I would be insanely careful while doing this. These guys are incredibly deadly. This is one of the more difficult rooms in the area. There's no way to get away from them other than on top of the eggs around the walls or rocks, whatever you want to call them. But overall, this one will take a bit of time to either learn, but it's pretty easy to do once you figure out how to do it. But overall, my biggest priority, I would say, is to have somebody distract and get on top of one of the rocks in the middle. And you want to bow down all of the tiny spiderlings before the big ones. But you can do them both at the same time if you still have a full party. But I would massively recommend getting rid of the smaller ones first, because those will turn out to be slightly more deadly than the big ones and more time consuming to kill. Alright, room 7. I don't have a lot of tips for this room other than to follow the path I am taking on screen. And if you're a mage or a warrior, you have to take the main path. It'll be a little longer. But overall, if you are a hunter, I would suggest taking the path I am taking. If you do fall, hope you don't fall on top of a giant spiderling, because a lot of them spawn here. And if you get stuck on the ground next to one, you will die. I've died a lot. I've had a lot of my friends die to them very, very fast when they fell down. But if you're lucky enough to survive, and when you fall down, there's a tunnel on the wall. Take it all the way up. Watch out for the super giants that spawn inside of there. There's a chest on the way. But once you get up top, you can head right into the next room. Alright, this is the next to the last room. And basically what you have to do in this room is there are 3 shield generators and a really big spider. Now what you have to do is you have to kill all 3 of the shield generators. I would have like 1 or 2 players in every single one. You can't have one guy distract the big guy and have everyone work on the same one at the same time. This room isn't too hard, but I would suggest that when you're fighting the boss doesn't do a lot of damage, but do make sure to watch your health, because if you die, this is next to the last room, and you won't be able to get a lot of participation off of the spider boss. Alright, congratulations if you have made it this far into the round. You are on the spider boss. Now, depending on how much time you have left, I would recommend maybe having 3 or 2 minutes left. If you have your entire party left, you can kill this guy really, really fast. Now, before the time does run out, and let's say you have like a minute left. Well, if the time does run out, it's gonna spawn these things called Giga Spiders, and these guys are really big and they're super deadly. Now, I would recommend hugging a wall if you do have to do them, if you do have to spawn them in, because they can spawn inside the wall and not kill you, which will give you at least maybe 30 more seconds in order to kill the spider boss. Now, my biggest tip for this guy is to basically do it all range. This boss does a whole lot of damage where meleeing probably won't be the best. Now, you can melee near the last little bits of health, because I do kind of find that the spider he does a little bit less attacks. I don't know if it's just convenience on my rounds or if this is how it's programmed, but he does a little bit less attacks when he's super low, like less than 1% health left. So you can melee near the end, but if you do kill this boss, it will give you a bunch of spider essences, spider eggs, spider legs, potions, a bunch of other things. Do make sure that you get all the chests that the spider does drop, and there's even one chest hidden around behind the pillars. Now, if you did just defeat the spider boss, I would just like to give a massive congratulations, and I do massively hope that my tutorial helped you with one of the rooms or the entire dungeon. Thanks to Chrissy MSP, Films By The Way, XAlex, XZ, RBLX, Get Good Kids, Nicole, Right C, Jake Plays, Yellow Kermit, Abraham Garcia, Ash DeWolf, The Real Brian 12, Ari, Wyatt Krager, Dark, and Felix Dodge DJ. Thanks for becoming sponsors. If you want a personalized thank you at the end of my videos, click the blue join button and join my channel for $5 a month. Thanks again to my sponsors. And I would also like to quickly thank 7N2Y, Waterfall, Toxic Terabyte, and To The Next Level. I massively appreciate y'all playing with me inside of Asteria. It's an insane amount of fun hanging out with y'all, and thanks for being awesome.